Hey, so today's video is gonna be a kind of like let's draw type of deal. I have been making and drawing a lot more recently because I'm redrawing all my old emotes to kind of get ready for my debut. But today specifically, I wanted to go over redrawing my old Viper emote. I made the first one like a year and a half ago, and I've noticed that I'm definitely getting like a little bit better from that first initial emote to now. So I kind of wanted to like showcase what I did in the first one and then how I feel like I'm kind of moving into my own style a little bit for so I had a lot of fun with this, and maybe I can explain it a little bit better so you can draw some cool emotes too. I quickly want to go over the first one. In the first one, I really didn't know what kind of like style, especially for the eyes, I was trying to do. I think what I was more drawn to was that like 90s anime type of style, so I definitely incorporated that. In terms of like coloring, I didn't get that for a little bit. I just genuinely did not understand how to color digitally. So I think just kind of slapping on whatever colors, and I definitely didn't blend or anything. I genuinely did like it at the time and I was very, very proud of it. But going into like what I made a day or two ago was just like, oh, there was a lot that I missed out on. And I still think there's a lot I can improve on now. I can definitely see the difference, for sure. So before I go into the time-lapse, because I don't think I have the original sketch, I wanted to show you my layers. So for one, everything's gonna look a little bit more saturated. I'm not sure if it's the program I'm kind of like broadcasting off of, but for me, everything's just a little bit more saturated than it usually is, and I hope you'll be able to see the difference in what I mean in a second. But I kept the background transparent, and for the most part, this is kind of what I do on every single emote, but I use the pizza method, or I think that's what it's called, which essentially you're just adding like a, what's it called? I add this red and then the orange on top of it, and then I add it as like a saturation layer to the max. So this is it without it, and this is it with. It just makes the colors pop a little bit more. And then the other thing I do for all of my emotes is I also add this purple, and then I add it as like a soft light at like 60 or maybe around like 30. I really, really like the way it looks because I feel like the colors just combine a little bit better and it makes the emote go better together in my opinion, but then again, I also just really like the color scheme. I'll go into more of the process with like the time lapse, but I just wanted to show you my layers and everything that I have in here. So I initially drew the first part of this emote on stream, and I don't know if this is just a me thing, but I definitely over like complicate it, or like I'm too critical of it in the moment. So I'll get to a certain point and then I'm just like, okay, I really need to like fix this, because I try and get it perfect too often in the beginning stages where I know I'm gonna mess around with like the mesh or like something later on. But for the most part, I kept it how it was besides the eyes and the eyebrows. I think I tweaked the hair just a little bit, but I think I definitely liked how I started doing the eyes just because it made her look more inky versus like just kind of looking wherever. For the skin and for like the shading, I usually just grab the just regular tone that it is, and then I add a multiply on that same one to create the shading, and I just kind of follow along about like where the hair is and like where the mask is or where I need it. For like under the eyes, I add like a blush to kind of dramatize it, and with like the eyes itself, I like to add like a little white eyeliner to make them pop, as well as like a little like purple on top. As far as like shading the mask and everything, I definitely messed up the mask in the first, and I left out like a detail or two the second time around, but I think it conveys it a little bit better. I wanted to add her like ultimate smoke in there, but I know I like tweaked it around a little bit more. I added just like highlights and just extra little things with the what's it called? I don't remember, but it's like a light pen, I think. Yeah. And I added that around her hair as well, because I could have made it a different color, but I definitely liked more so playing on her kind of like greens from the ultimate. And then as far as like the toxic word goes, I couldn't figure out like a placement for it. I really wanted it to be at the bottom, but I didn't. I kind of wanted to keep it as almost the same as to the original one without losing it. So I tweaked around like the smoke a little bit more and just kind of made it more of an arch. And then I added that purple and like the pizza method on top of it, and I really liked how it came out. Hopefully when I'm a little bit more comfortable with drawing emotes, I can go in a more detailed process from like start to finish. And I know eventually I'm going to show the time lapses and like all the emotes that I have drawn that I showcased a little bit in the beginning. I know drawing is like a huge process, and I've just gotten more serious about it, so I really hope to share that in the future. If you do have any like pointers or critiques, I'd love to hear them though, because I know I'm just restarting, but it would be super helpful. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!